10 Rare Discoveries about Famous Artists and Their Art. The paintings of the old masters are more than just pretty portraits. A closer look has revealed hidden codes, fascinating bloopers, and original designs that the world has never seen. 10. The Grasshopper on Van Gogh's brush. Vincent van Gogh painted olive trees in 1889. Countless people have seen the painting since, but it took a surgical microscope to spot the grasshopper. The artist did not hide a drawing of a bug between the trees. The grasshopper was real and stuck in the paint for 128 years. In 2017, the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art in Missouri examined the painting. A conservator was looking at the artist's trademark thick paint through a microscope when she noticed a strange object. At first, she thought it was the outline of a leaf, but a closer look revealed that it was a tiny grasshopper. 9. A master's fingerprint. Peter de Hooch is not a household name like Michelangelo or Vermeer. But like Vermeer, de Hooch was also a Dutch old master. When conservators recently cleaned his work from the 1650s, they discovered 3 fascinating things. De Hooch apparently picked up and moved a painting called Card Players in a sunlit room while it was still wet. One of his fingers, possibly his thumb, left a print on the tiled floor of the painted scene. De Hooch must have noticed the paint on his finger, so why did he allow the blemish to stay? He liked to leave personal marks on his work. One of the other discoveries proved this when conservators examined women weighing gold and silver coins and found the painter's name hidden on a window frame. 8. Hidden details of a Vermeer. Around 1665, Dutch master Johannes Vermeer painted The Girl with a Pearl Earring. The painting became world famous and inspired curiosity and mystery. Who was the girl? Why did Vermeer forget to give her eyelashes? In 2020, an analysis of the painting solved the eyelash question. The painter never forgot. The eyelashes were there but too faded to see. The examination revealed other surprising details. Vermeer had originally painted a curtain in the background. Then, for some reason, he covered the green curtain with a dark, detail-less void. 7. Mysterious vandalism finally solved. Edvard Munch's The Scream is one of the most iconic paintings in the world. In 1904, an art critic examined the painting and was aghast to discover that the top left corner had been vandalized. The guilty person was clearly not a fan. He had written in pencil, "Could only have been painted by a madman." In 2021, experts identified the vandal. It was Munch himself. Infrared technology made the sentence clear enough to compare it to known samples of the Norwegian artist's handwriting. 6. The Da Vinci study. Artists often draw a sketch to prepare themselves for their real artwork, usually a painting. This sketch is called a study. Leonardo da Vinci was no different. In 2020, an Italian scholar dropped a bomb. He claimed to have identified a new study by da Vinci. Tests confirmed that the paper dated to the early 16th century, a time when the Italian master was alive. The drawing also showed da Vinci's techniques. While not everyone agrees that he drew the study, the experts that are convinced believe 2 things. First, the sketch was likely a study for a painting called Salvator Mundi. Those familiar with the name might remember a portrait of Christ that sold at Christie's for $450 million. 5. Painter protected her art with hidden signatures. Artemisia Gentileschi was the daughter of an Italian painter. By the time she was 15, her own art was already at a professional level. But as a woman in the 17th century, her work was often dismissed as that of her fathers or other male painters. Artemisia Gentileschi persevered. She was the first female accepted into the Academy of Arts and Drawing in Florence. Both royalty and the powerful Medici family commissioned her paintings. She even befriended Galileo. Despite her success, Artemisia knew that her work might be attributed to men in the future, which happened on several occasions. So she hid a secret in one of her paintings. A magnificent painting called David and Goliath surfaced in 1975, and experts decided the artist was a guy called Giovanni Francesco Guerrieri. 4. The other Salvator Mundi artist. By now, Anyone familiar with the painting Salvator Mundi knows that the painter is not 100% agreed upon by the art community. In recent years, 2 studies tried to clear the water. But instead, there were more questions. One project found that the artwork had a different original design while the other found signs that more than one artist was involved. The well-respected Louvre Museum examined the portrait and determined that Leonardo da Vinci was the painter but that he had never meant to paint Christ's arms. But then, for some reason, the hand with the famous globe and the other hand, raised in blessing, were added at a much later stage. 3. Codes inside the Mona Lisa's eyes. The Mona Lisa is among the most studied paintings in the world. But despite all the attention, a major mystery remained undetected until 2010. When Leonardo da Vinci painted his masterpiece, he added hidden codes to the mysterious woman's eyes. In the left eye, there was something that resembled B or CE. The right eye's letters were more clear, LV. Although the meaning is unclear, LV could stand for Da Vinci's own name. But these were not the only oddities found at the time. On the arch of the bridge in the background is the number 72, the mark could also be L and 2. 2. A childhood Michelangelo. The Renaissance master Michelangelo died in 1564. A couple of days before he died, the painter burnt most of his drawings in 2 bonfires. This was enough to make experts scream, but Michelangelo was also a perfectionist, an obsession that made him destroy all his earlier art. Apparently, he did not want people to see his work as a novice. Despite his scorched earth habits, Michelangelo might have missed one piece. In 2019, a private collector had a sketch assessed to find the artist when a Michelangelo expert recognized the master's work. Even more remarkable, the sketch was made sometime between 1487 and 1490. This means that Michelangelo was 12 or 13 years old. 1. The Mona Lisa 3D set. For years, another Mona Lisa languished in a museum in Spain. She was viewed as an insignificant copy of the real thing and neglected. That changed in 2012 when scientists noticed the portrait closely resembled the original. This was not a cheap knockoff. It was the work of Leonardo da Vinci or one of his students. The paintings were not identical, and one difference could add a remarkable chapter to the story of the Mona Lisa. When viewed side by side, the painter's perspective was not the same. Da Vinci had painted the famous Mona Lisa while the woman sat directly in front of him. The other painter stood closer to her and a little more to Da Vinci.